You're standing in the middle of chaos. Everything around you feels like it's falling apart. Work deadlines piling up, endless notifications demanding your attention, and personal challenges draining your energy. It's like being on a battlefield, except this war isn't fought with weapons. It's fought with your mind. Now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, how do you keep calm when life feels this overwhelming? Do you let the chaos consume you, or do you rise above it, grounded and unshaken? The ancient Stoics believed that no matter how turbulent the world becomes, true power lies within. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless wisdom is just as relevant today as it was centuries ago. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help you thrive, even when life feels like a storm. Together, we'll uncover practical strategies to take control of your thoughts, turn challenges into opportunities, and reclaim your inner peace. If you're ready to transform your life with Stoicism, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official for more insights. Let's embark on this journey together. Your stronger, calmer self is waiting. Anchor your worth in inner values, not external validation. Imagine a general standing in the midst of a battlefield, his troops looking to him for strength. In a moment of unexpected betrayal, his allies abandon him, leaving his position vulnerable. Stripped of his title and authority, he could have crumbled under the weight of humiliation and loss. But instead, he did something extraordinary. He paused, reflected, and reminded himself that his worth was not tied to his uniform or his rank. His value came from his courage, his integrity, and his unwavering dedication to doing what was right. This story resonates because, in today's world, many of us tie our sense of self-worth to external factors, job titles, social media likes, or material possessions. We let external validation define who we are. And yet, Stoic philosophy teaches us a timeless truth. True freedom is letting go of the need for external approval. When Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within, do not allow the external to control your mind," he wasn't speaking only to ancient Romans. His wisdom cuts through centuries, directly addressing the struggles we face today. Think about it. How often do you check your phone for likes or comments, hoping they'll make you feel seen or valued? How often does a promotion, or the lack of one, determine your mood or your self-esteem? These moments can make us feel worthy or unworthy based on fleeting external measures. But here's the twist. External validation is a moving target. It's unreliable. The moment you catch it, it shifts, leaving you chasing endlessly. A Stoic approach flips this narrative by teaching us to anchor our worth in something far more stable, our inner values. Take a moment to reflect. What truly defines you? Is it your title at work, your social media following, or your possessions? Or is it your integrity, your resilience, and the kindness you show to others? Stoicism reminds us that external achievements can be stripped away in an instant, but your inner character is something no one can take from you. Let's make this practical. Start with gratitude journaling. Each day, write down 3 things you're proud of that aren't tied to external validation. It could be something as simple as how you stayed calm during a difficult conversation, or how you helped someone without expecting anything in return. This practice shifts your focus inward, helping you recognize the intrinsic value of your actions and mindset. Another step is defining your core values. Take some time to ask yourself, what do I stand for? Is it honesty, kindness, or perseverance? Once you've identified these values, let them guide your decisions. When faced with a tough situation, pause and ask yourself, does this choice align with who I am? Over time, you'll find that living in alignment with your values brings a sense of fulfillment that external validation simply can't provide. Now think about how this applies to modern life. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing friends sharing highlight reels of their perfect vacations or career achievements. It's easy to feel inadequate, but instead of comparing, stop and ask yourself, are these posts a reflection of their true worth or just curated moments? By shifting your perspective, you can remind yourself that your value isn't tied to what others post online. Consider another scenario. You're working hard at your job, but someone else gets the promotion you were hoping for. A Stoic mindset encourages you to pause and reflect. Is your value as a professional determined by this one decision? Or is it shown in your daily efforts, your dedication, and the skills you bring to the table? This is where Stoicism challenges us to let go of the need for external approval. When you anchor your worth in your inner values, you become unshakable. No amount of criticism or rejection can diminish who you are. But here's the most important part. This isn't easy. It takes practice, and there will be days when you falter. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. As you build this habit, you'll start to notice a change. The opinions of others will have less power over you. The need for validation will diminish, and you'll find a sense of peace that comes from knowing you are enough, exactly as you are. Let me leave you with this question. When the noise of the world fades, and it's just you and your thoughts, what will you stand on? Will it be the fragile platform of external validation, or the unshakable foundation of your inner values? This is the choice Stoicism offers us, and it's one we must make every day. So, take a deep breath, look inward, and remind yourself of this. Your worth is not determined by what others see, but by the values you live by. Find meaning in adversity. Let's face it, adversity is like that uninvited guest who overstays their welcome. It barges into your life, rearranges everything, and leaves you wondering if you'll ever feel normal again. But here's the thing, Stoicism teaches us that adversity isn't just chaos. It's also an opportunity. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Now imagine this. A soldier is captured during wartime, stripped of his freedom, and confined to a cold, dark cell. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into months. But instead of breaking down, he uses his time to reflect. He replays his life, finding strength in the lessons he's learned and the values he holds dear. When he's finally freed, he's not the same person. He's stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This story might feel distant, but isn't adversity like that cell sometimes? Maybe it's a failed relationship, a financial setback, or losing a job you thought defined you. Adversity locks you in, makes the walls feel like they're closing in, and challenges you to find a way forward. The twist is this: you don't just survive adversity, you grow because of it. Why does this matter today? Because life throws challenges at us every day, and we often respond by asking, why me? But the better question is, what can I learn from this? Stoicism reframes adversity as raw material for excellence. It's not about avoiding hardships, but finding meaning in them. Think of it as life's way of handing you the tools to build your best self. Let me ask you, when you look back on the hardest moments of your life, aren't those the times that shaped you most? Maybe it was that heartbreak that taught you self-worth, or that job loss that pushed you to pursue a passion you'd ignored. The truth is that adversity forces us to confront our limits, and often exceed them. Here's where we make it practical. First, stop treating challenges as roadblocks, and start seeing them as levels in a game. It sounds silly, but think about it. What's more satisfying than leveling up? When adversity strikes, break it down into manageable pieces. What's the first small step you can take to overcome it? Write it down. Then take another step. Track your progress, reflect on what you've learned, and celebrate every small win. For example, let's say you're hit with an unexpected financial crisis. It's overwhelming, sure, but instead of spiraling into despair, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I control here? Maybe it's creating a stricter budget or finding a temporary side gig. With each step forward, the problem starts feeling less like a mountain and more like a climbable hill. And here's where humor comes in handy. Adversity loves drama, but you don't have to give it the spotlight. When things go wrong, try asking, is this a plot twist, or is my life a comedy? Laughing at life's absurdity doesn't make the challenge go away, but it makes it easier to face. Another strategy: keep a journal of what adversity has taught you. Think of it as your personal victory log. Write down moments where you turned obstacles into opportunities, no matter how small. Over time, you'll have a tangible reminder of your resilience, a testament to how you've grown stronger through struggle. Adversity also reveals the power of perspective. Picture two people facing the same setback. One sees it as the end of the world, while the other sees it as a chance to start fresh. Who do you think comes out stronger? It's not the challenge itself, but how we choose to view it that determines our outcome. So what's the takeaway? Adversity isn't here to crush you, it's here to build you. And yes, sometimes it feels impossible to believe that when you're in the thick of it. But remember, the greatest growth often happens in the hardest times. It's the fire that tempers steel, the pressure that creates diamonds. Let me leave you with this thought. The next time life throws you a curveball, what if you embrace it instead of dodging it? What if you saw it as an invitation to grow rather than a punishment to endure? Adversity, as frustrating as it is, holds the keys to our evolution. By reframing your struggles, you transform them into stepping stones. And when you look back, you'll realize that those challenges weren't just obstacles, they were the foundation of your strength. So the next time adversity knocks on your door, smile and say, "Let's see what I'm made of." Control your digital overload. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you scrolled through your phone for just a few minutes and realized an hour had disappeared? It's okay. We've all been there. The endless notifications, constant news updates, and perfectly curated social media posts can suck us in like a vortex. The Stoics, of course, didn't have smartphones, but their wisdom applies perfectly to our digital overload. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let's take that advice and reclaim our digital lives. Picture this. You're sitting at dinner with a friend, and their eyes dart to their phone every time it buzzes. Instead of a conversation, it's a competition for their attention. Now flip the script. How often are we the ones guilty of letting our screens interrupt real life? Our phones have become extensions of ourselves, but here's the truth. They're tools, not masters. Stoicism reminds us that we hold the reins, not the other way around. Let's get practical. The first step to controlling your digital overload is understanding that most of the noise is beyond your control. The endless stream of news, posts, and memes is going to keep flowing whether you're watching or not. Epictetus might say, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen." Translation? You can't stop the chaos online, but you can control how much of it you let into your mind. So, how do you take back control? Start by setting boundaries. This isn't about going full hermit and throwing your phone in the ocean, though let's admit the thought is tempting sometimes. Instead, schedule screen-free hours each day. Treat them like sacred time. Maybe it's the first hour of your morning or the last hour before bed. Use that time to connect with the world around you. Read, take a walk, or simply sit in silence. Now, let's talk about doom scrolling. You know that habit of endlessly consuming bad news until your anxiety levels skyrocket. Here's a Stoic twist. Instead of absorbing every piece of negativity, ask yourself, what can I actually do about this? If the answer is nothing, let it go. Marcus Aurelius believed in focusing only on what's within our control. Worrying about things you can't change is like trying to stop a storm by yelling at the sky. It's exhausting and pointless. Here's another tip. Curate your digital environment the same way you'd curate your physical space. Would you let someone stand in your living room and shout negativity all day? Of course not. So why follow accounts or news sources that do the same to your mental space? Unfollow, mute, or block anything that doesn't add value to your life. It's not rude, it's self-preservation. Let me add a bit of humor here. Have you ever found yourself arguing with a stranger on the internet and thought, this will really change your mind? Spoiler alert, it won't. Engaging in online battles drains your energy and does nothing for your peace of mind. As the Stoics would advise, don't waste time on things that don't align with your values or bring you closer to your goals. And then there's the constant comparison game. Social media has a way of making everyone else's life look perfect while you're sitting there in your sweatpants, wondering why your dinner isn't Instagram-worthy. But here's a reality check. What you're seeing is curated, not real. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. So, the next time you feel less than because of a post, pause and remember that you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Now, here's a challenge. The next time you reach for your phone out of habit, stop and ask yourself, what am I looking for? Connection, distraction, validation? Identifying the why can help you decide whether scrolling is worth it or if there's a better way to meet that need. And let's not forget the importance of real-world connections. When you're with family, friends, or even just enjoying your own company, put the phone down. The moments we remember most aren't the ones spent staring at a screen. They're the ones spent truly present in our lives. So what's the takeaway? Digital overload isn't about the technology itself. It's about how we interact with it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, set boundaries, and protect our peace. Your phone doesn't have to be a source of stress. It can be a tool that enhances your life if you use it intentionally. Let me leave you with this. The next time you pick up your phone, ask yourself, am I using this or is it using me? That small pause, that single question, could be the key to reclaiming your mind and your life. Remember, the power is in your hands, literally. Transform workplace adversity into strength. Workplace adversity can feel like being stuck in a war zone. There's the chaos of deadlines, the unpredictability of office politics, and those moments when everything seems to go wrong at the worst possible time. But here's the truth. These challenges, frustrating as they are, can shape you into someone stronger and more capable if you let them. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." That wisdom holds the key to transforming even the most toxic workplace into a training ground for resilience and growth. Imagine this scenario. You've worked tirelessly on a project for weeks, only to have your boss dismiss it with a single, "This isn't what I wanted." Your first instinct might be to throw your hands up and mutter, "What's the point?" But what if you approached it differently? What if you saw that moment as a chance to refine your skills, communicate more clearly, or even practice patience? That's what Stoicism teaches us, to reframe adversity not as failure, but as feedback. Let's face it, the workplace is full of challenges, and they're not going anywhere. So the question is, how will you respond? Will you let those moments define you, or will you use them to grow? Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's where your power lies. One of the most powerful Stoic tools you can use is self-reflection. When adversity strikes, pause and ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Is it anger, frustration, or fear? Often our emotional responses stem from expectations. We expect others to act a certain way or situations to unfold as we'd planned. When they don't, we feel thrown off balance. But Stoicism challenges us to let go of those expectations and focus on what we can control: our actions, our thoughts, and our attitude. Take a moment to think about your biggest workplace challenge. Is it a difficult coworker? A demanding boss? A never-ending workload? Whatever it is, the first step to overcoming it is understanding what's within your control. Can you control your boss's demands? Probably not. But you can control how you respond. Instead of venting or letting frustration take over, you can focus on delivering your best work and maintaining a calm demeanor. Not for their approval, but for your own sense of integrity. And here's where a touch of humor can help. Have you ever noticed how workplace adversity has a way of feeling overly dramatic? That one bad meeting suddenly feels like the end of the world. But is it? If you step back and imagine yourself watching the scene as a sitcom, it's almost laughable. The overly serious tone, the passive-aggressive emails, it's like an episode of The Office. Sometimes a little perspective and a chuckle can diffuse even the most stressful situations. Another key Stoic principle for the workplace is focusing on solutions, not problems. When faced with adversity, it's easy to get stuck in a loop of, why is this happening to me? But what if you asked instead, what can I do to improve this? Shifting your mindset to problem solving not only makes you more effective, but also puts you back in the driver's seat. For example, let's say your team is underperforming, and the blame is falling on you as the manager. You could spiral into self-doubt or spend energy pointing fingers. Or you could take a step back, analyze what's not working, and create a plan to address it. By taking ownership, you shift from being a victim of circumstances to someone actively shaping their outcome. But here's the real magic. Every time you face adversity and choose to handle it with composure, you're building a reputation. People notice resilience. They notice calm under pressure. Over time, these qualities make you the person others look to when challenges arise. And isn't that what true leadership is about? Let me leave you with this thought. The workplace will always have its share of difficulties, but it's how you choose to see them that matters. Will you let them weigh you down, or will you use them as stepping stones to your growth? The Stoics teach us that adversity doesn't define us, our response does. So the next time you're faced with a workplace challenge, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, how can this make me stronger? You might just find that the chaos of today is shaping you into the leader you're meant to be tomorrow. Cultivate emotional resilience against stress. Stress, it's the invisible opponent we all face daily. Whether it's the overflowing inbox, a heated argument, or simply the never-ending to-do list, stress has a way of sneaking in and throwing us off balance. The Stoics, of course, didn't deal with email or Zoom fatigue, but they understood something universal. Things themselves don't hurt. It's the views we take of them that do. In other words, it's not the stressor itself, it's how we respond to it. Let's imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and frustration bubbles up. You grip the wheel tighter and think, why does this always happen to me? But here's the truth. That traffic jam isn't out to get you. It's not personal. What's causing your stress isn't the cars, it's the story you're telling yourself about being late. What if instead you took a deep breath and thought, I can't control this traffic, but I can control how I show up when I get there. That's emotional resilience in action. Stoicism teaches us that stress isn't the enemy, it's an opportunity. It's the pressure that reveals who we are and pushes us to grow. Marcus Aurelius would agree. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. So how do we reclaim control over our emotions when stress tries to take the wheel? First, start by separating facts from feelings. When you're in the thick of stress, your brain tends to catastrophize. That small mistake at work suddenly feels like a career-ending disaster. But is it? Write down what actually happened, just the facts, no emotions. Then compare those facts to the story you're telling yourself. Often, you'll see that your mind has inflated the situation far beyond reality. This practice is simple, but it's like deflating a balloon that's about to pop. Now let's add a little humor to this. Have you ever noticed how stress makes us act like everything is an emergency? You forget your keys, and suddenly it's, well, guess I'm destined to fail at life. But honestly, how many of those life-ending moments really matter a week from now? Or even a day from now? Probably none. Laughing at your own overreactions doesn't minimize the challenge. It gives you the space to handle it with clarity. Next, practice deep breathing. Yes, it sounds too simple, but it works. When stress hits, your body goes into fight or flight mode, pumping adrenaline and clouding your thoughts. Deep, intentional breaths send a signal to your brain that it's okay to calm down. Try this. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat a few times. It's like hitting the reset button on your mind. Another powerful tool is reframing. Instead of thinking, this is the worst thing that could happen, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Stress often points us toward areas we need to grow. Didn't meet that deadline? Maybe it's a chance to improve your time management. Had a tough conversation with your partner? It could be an opportunity to strengthen your communication. The Stoics believed adversity was the raw material for growth, and stress is no exception. But what about those times when stress feels overwhelming, like it's just too much? That's when you remind yourself of another Stoic principle. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Often, the anticipation of stress is worse than the event itself. Think about it. How many times have you dreaded a presentation, only for it to go smoothly once you started? That's the mind's way of playing tricks on you. When stress looms, bring yourself back to the present moment and focus on what you can do right now, not what might happen later. Let's tie it all together. Emotional resilience isn't about avoiding stress. It's about mastering your response to it. It's about pausing, reflecting, and choosing to act instead of reacting. Will it always be easy? Of course not. But with practice, it becomes second nature. So here's my question for you. The next time stress tries to hijack your day, how will you respond? Will you let it dictate your mood, or will you pause, breathe, and remind yourself that you're in control? Stress may knock on your door, but it's up to you whether or not you let it in. And remember, like anything worthwhile, resilience takes time to build. Each stressful moment is a chance to strengthen that muscle. So the next time you're stuck in traffic or staring at a mile-long task list, take a deep breath and smile. You've got this. As Marcus Aurelius would say, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Why not make it something powerful? The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Life's challenges, whether stress, setbacks, or distractions, are not here to defeat you. They're here to shape you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. The lessons we've explored today, from anchoring your worth and inner values to mastering your emotions, are not just ideas, they're tools. Tools that, when used consistently, can transform your mindset and your life. Now, it's your turn. How will you apply these Stoic principles to the battles you face each day? Will you pause in moments of stress to reclaim your power? Will you find meaning in adversity and use it to grow? Take a moment to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments. What challenges are you working through right now, and which Stoic practice will you use to face it? Let's learn from and support one another on this journey. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like it and share it with someone who needs a little Stoic inspiration. For more insights on building resilience, emotional control, and personal growth, subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official. Remember, the storms of life are inevitable, but your ability to rise above them is limitless. See you in the next video.